The chase was on. I watched as his car drove off effortlessly through the night. I stayed 2 cars behind at all times so he wouldn't know he was being tailed. The light turned red. Damn it! I slapped my hands on the wheel. His car got smaller and smaller until it was a distant memory in the sunset. But I watched. Ah, yes, I saw the left he took. The light turned green and I stepped on the gas. I never understood that expression. How does one step on gas? I took a left and kept driving. The road was empty. I saw his car in the distance. He was driving slowly, and soon I would catch up to him. As I drew closer to his car, it increased in speed. He noticed me. He swerved right. I followed. A real-life car chase, just like a Hollywood movie. A car pulled out of nowhere, and I barely avoided it. My car mounted the curb. I crashed into a trash can and went flying off into oblivion. As I steadied my car into the correct lane, one hand on the wheel, I wiped the sweat from my brow. This was exciting. I scared him, like those little girls in my shed. Most serial killers stick to one ritual, one motive. That, at the end of the day, is how they get caught. Every kill I've ever had has been different, all planned weeks, months in advance, so I wouldn't get caught. Every outcome predicted, loose ends avoided. But I was being careless, reckless, but I didn't care. This was too much fun. I was like Wile E. Coyote and he was Roadrunner, except this time I would best him. My Acme rocket would blow his dick to pieces. I would flatten him with my 500-pound handgun. He continued to drive, I continued to follow. I never once took my eyes off him. I stayed in his car in my mind and transitioned into a single drop of blood. Deep red, beautiful, and round. I was fast but not furious. I did not drive angry. I felt like Knight Rider. But this endless game of cat and mouse was about to reach its climax. My engine cluttered, then spluttered. Fuck, 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 fuck! It chugged into a parked car and slowed. Not now! My temperature rose and I twisted the key. She started up again. I revved the engine and reversed back onto the road. He was gone. His car dust in the wind. But I saw the tracks, turning into a dead, deserted, discarded street. The street was silent apart from the hum of my engine. I looked in the distance and my eyes locked on his car. It sat parked and void of life. I drove on, looking to where the man could be. There was an abandoned garage. Could he be in there? This derelict building that barely stood and the roof was falling apart? Yet it was the only building. Why would he go in there? I parked my car a good 50 feet from his and turned off the engine. I opened the glove compartment and in it a revolver gun. I flicked open the cylinder and loaded it. I counted each bullet as I slipped them into the chamber. I hated guns. Too quick, but this man was unknown to me. I have to be careful. Just like me, he could be anybody. I haven't had time to vet him properly. As much as every bone in my body detested using guns, I had no option. I opened the door to the car and slithered out. Apart from my footsteps and the warm wind dancing around my ears, there was no other sound. I walked toward the garage. Slowly and carefully. Meow! I flinched back. Boom! The cat scampered like a bolt of lightning. There was a door. A blue metal door. I tried to open it, but it was no use. I left it and continued to walk around the side of the building. I heard a car engine. I turned around and headed back. It was his car. The headlights were switched on. It blinded me. I shielded my eyes with my hands and looked away. The sound of smashing glass came from inside. These mind games won't affect me. What does he think I am? I'm not easily scared. Pathetic attempt. I headed back to the building and to the rear door. However, it was also locked. The sound of twigs breaking came from behind, and I turned to look. I saw a shadow dart past the corner of my eye. Gotcha. I crept toward the bushes, every step so careful. I knelt down on my knees and peered into the bush directly in front of me. 2 yellow eyes stared back at me. The feline started to purr. Shut up, cat! I got up from my knees and I brushed the dirt off. I turned around to face the rear door. It was open, just a crack. I walked toward it curiously, my breath as calm as the night sky. Suddenly, I felt a tight pressing around my throat like a snake coiling. I tried to fight, but slowly my fight was drained out of me. I reached for my gun, and just like my consciousness, it faded from my grass.